This is Auburn Mayor Ron Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from our January the 4th Auburn City Council meeting. We began during the Committee of the Whole last night by making 2 appointments to the Board of Zoning and Adjustments. Marty Heffron was appointed as a regular member of the BZA, and Mary Boyd was appointed as a supernumerary member of the BZA. This is an important board that has a very important function in our community. We appreciate Marty and Mary being willing to serve on this board. We appreciate the other citizens who applied to serve on the BZA. I want to particularly thank John Huff and Clint Wilson for their service on the BZA. Both of them have served at least 2 full terms. During our regular meeting last night, we recognized it was the first meeting of the month, as well as the first meeting of the year, and we recognized a number of employees for outstanding service to the City of Auburn. Our Employee of the Month was Allison Blankenship from our Public Affairs Office, and I have a memorandum here from David Dorton, the Director of Public Affairs, to Megan McGowan Crouch, the City Manager, and I'd like to read to you a paragraph here. Allison has made the neighborhood specialist job her own. She has worked to build networks both internally and externally to help her channel the right information to the right stakeholders. She has personally visited the neighborhoods to better understand the situation or the needs of the residents that are communicating to the city. And she has planned to be ready to launch the First Citizens Academy as soon as conditions allow. Allison's done an outstanding job being a neighborhood specialist during a time that is unprecedented in our community where communication is more difficult than it normally has been. And I applaud Allison for her great work in helping us all make Auburn a better and special place to live. We had a number of employees service awards last night from 5 years to 30 years. I'm going to read their names to you very quickly. I wish I had time to brag on each one of them because they do an outstanding job. Kristen Colmayers from Parks and Rec, Brandon Dillard from Police, and Damian Berry from Police. Each of those are 5-year members of our employment staff here at the city. Reggie Dunn and Eddie James. Reggie's with Parks and Rec, and Eddie is with Water Resource Management for 10 years. Sarah Ann Custer, Parks and Rec. Will Malden, Police. Josh Holly with Fire for 15 years. David Dorton, Office of the City Manager, Public Affairs, and David Dean, Engineering Services, 20 years. Allison Frazier, Engineering Services, Scott Webster, Police, 25 years. And Gina McCrickard, Engineering Services, and Cedric Anderson, our Chief of Police, 30 years. Thank you to all of those names that I've just read out, all of those individuals who come to work every day to make Auburn the best place it can be and for their time that they've served here in the community. Thank you. As we got into the regular agenda last night, the city manager read a report from the Rebuild Alabama Act. The city received a little under $400,000 that could be used for infrastructure projects, road projects here in the city. And she read a report related to that of how the city of Auburn has used that money that comes from the state through the gas tax. All that information is on our city's website if you'd like to read through that. During the consent agenda last night, there was a video play that commended and recognized the Auburn High School girls cross country team for the 2021 state championship. This is their 5th championship in a row. That's a unique video, and I would encourage you to go and watch that on the city's social media or the city's website. City Council also approved a meeting time change for our February 1st meeting. We'll start that meeting at 5 p.m. as opposed to 7 p.m. This is just a one-time change just for the February 1st meeting. We have a number of large planning items on the agenda that night that we expect a lot of conversation, and we expect the public hearings with those to be significant. So we're going to start the meeting a little bit longer to allow plenty of time for people to speak and for the council to make decisions. Under alcohol beverage license, the City Council approved a retail table wine and beer license for the Auburn Candle Company. Their business is located at 166 North Gay Street. The City Council approved a grant submittal to the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. It's a $33,000 grant. I'd like to read to you some information from the city's agenda last night. This is from Tim Woody, who's the Public Works Director, to Megan McGowan Crouch. The grant will leverage already budgeted funds for the H.C. Morgan Pollution Control Facility Stream Restoration Project to fund green infrastructure enhancements, provide professional development and community outreach programming at the facility. Enhancements will include the installation of 4 bioretention cells at stormwater outfalls, the installation of over 2,000 trees, and 2 additional acres of planted native wildflowers. These enhancements will improve the water quality in the adjacent Parkinson Mill Creek and reduce facility maintenance cost. In addition, the city will partner with the Alabama Cooperative Extension System Water Resources Center to provide 960 hours of professional development, classroom instruction, tours of the project area for Auburn University faculty and students, and allow for youth volunteer opportunities. Also under contracts and agreements, the City Council approved a contract with Game Time to add some playground equipment at Dennis Park. This is right under $60,000. There's already some playground equipment at Dennis Park. This is an addition, phase two, if you will, of the playground equipment. I continue to hear a number of citizens from our community who are discovering Dennis Park and what a special place that is to our community. I encourage you, if you have not been by Dennis Park, go by and see what a unique and special place that is, park that is for all of our citizens here in Auburn. City Council approved a contract with Southern Software. This is a support contract for our police division that helps with case management and dispatch systems, narcotics management, and mapping display. This was right under $19,000. Under ordinances last night, the City Council amended a commercial development agreement for Little Acre Properties, doing business as Bow and Arrow. They have made an addition to their facility that closes in a courtyard area, an outdoor seating area. They came before the Commercial Development Authority for approval for their facade. And this is just an extension, a time extension of their commercial development agreement, which has been approved a couple of years ago. And then finally, the redistricting plan was postponed. The vote was postponed last night, as well as the public hearing, to January the 18th. We did hear from a number of members of our community during other opportunities on our agenda last night to speak. You can go back and hear all of those comments if you'd like to through the city's website or social media. We plan to look at this on January the 18th. Our plan will be to vote on January the 18th. I cannot guarantee you that the City Council will be prepared to vote that evening, but that is what we'll be working towards here in the next couple of weeks. Just as far as some announcements, I want to remind everyone that on January 29th is the Polar Plunge. This is an event, a very unique event that occurs at the Sanford Avenue Pool at 9 a.m. on Saturday, January 29th. If you want to have some crazy fun and raise money for a great cause, I encourage you to get members of the community and your family to support you and come jump in a freezing cold pool, swim across to the other side, and help us raise money for Special Olympics, a very worthy cause and something that's very important to our community. So that's January the 29th. I also want to give a shout out to former Auburn High football player DeMarcus Ware, who is a finalist for the National Football League Hall of Fame. The inductees will be announced Super Bowl weekend, but DeMarcus grew up here in Auburn, played at Auburn High School, and then played at Troy University. He also played for the Cowboys and the Broncos, won a Super Bowl in his career, and was an outstanding football player in the NFL, and we wish him well. Also last night we announced that Auburn 2040 has been delayed for this year. It will be my encouragement to the future that Auburn 2040 is looked at again in the year of 2023. But with COVID hitting us 3 different times, it's been very difficult for us to get Auburn 2040 starting. There's a press release that has been sent out by our public affairs staff here at the City of Auburn that talks about all the tenets of Auburn 2040. Auburn 2040 was meant for all of us to get around the table and discuss those things that we were working on to make Auburn a better place and to build a plan for Auburn's future. It happens best when we're in person having those discussions and those debates with one another. During the time of COVID, it's been very difficult to bring different members of our community into the same room to make that happen. So we have delayed 2040 for the time being, and I hope to see Auburn 2040 be reactivated in 2023. This is Mayor Ron Anders. Have a great week.